Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Well, Donald Trump double dip? No, never. Never would do that. Okay, so reporting from the New York Times and ProPublica. Former President Donald Trump may face an IRS bill in excess of $100 million after a year-long government audit indicates that he double-dipped on tax losses tied to a Chicago skyscraper. Let's see. Trump used his cachet, or whatever that means, as a real estate developer and TV star to build a political movement. Yeah, well, duh. I'm sorry, let me skip on to this. Basically, the tax records cited indicate in 2009, Trump twice deducted losses on Trump International Hotel and Tower, which opened in 2009 near the banks of the Chicago River. The report said that Trump initially reported losses of $658 million. If that's not evidence that everything this guy touches dies, I don't know what is. Now, let's look at the timing. 2008, we had the market crash, basically. So, yeah, okay, we can cut him some slack, but still. So he had those big losses under the premise that the property fit the IRS definition of being, quote, worthless, because condominium sales were disappointing and retail space went unfilled during the recession. I think that's a real stretch. I mean, they could probably get him on just that alone. But in 2010, Trump transferred the ownership of the property to a different holding company that Trump had control over. And then, in using a move to save money on taxes, he reported over the next 10 years an additional $168 million in losses. I'm almost thinking like if the property got assessed and it was worth more, he still considered it worthless and he kept taking the money off of it. I think that's what that might be. But long and short of it, to the tune of about $16.8 million a year, he kept declaring more losses on a piece of property declared as worthless. That's pretty amazing. You know, it's like you hit the bottom and you kept digging. So because of that audit, the IRS is going to bill him with the amount that he owes plus penalties is going to come out to about $100 million. It's like another E. Jean Carroll loss. So Trump, of course, is going to fight that and to try and avoid having to pay this latest IRS tax bill. So I want to read, and tell me this doesn't sound totally like Trump. You know, he calls something a complete loss, and then, you know, when nobody's looking, he tries to take a bigger loss on it. Just reassess its value every year, and then declare that loss. The guy is such a freaking crook. It's funny. It's pathetic and it's wrong and it's infuriating, but it's hilarious at the same time. It's just like just when you think he can't be more corrupt and more outrageous, he literally says, "Here, hold my," I don't even know what he drinks. "Hold my water," because I can't. Entertainment purposes only. Let's find out what's the energy around this tax audit and the $100 million we got going on. Yeah, there we go. Thought you could hide that one, huh? Oh, yes, and that of course now also leads into who was Trump's accountant during that time? Who was Trump's chief financial officer? Who was the one controlling all the books? This is going to drag Allen Weisselberg down again. Now, I know the New York DA, basically, they were going to stop prosecuting him for the charges on the civil trial, and like the things for Trump org. He's already, you know, he's gone. He cut a plea deal and went to prison for a few months. And then because he committed perjury, they sent him back to prison. And at that point, they said, as long as you plead guilty to the perjury charge, we're not going to pursue any more on this. But this is new and different. And Allen Weisselberg's fingerprints are going to be all over this. So that old man is going to be in trouble again. Now, interesting timing. Because the state of actually it's the IRS, so it's going to be the feds, but this could be something that might be used as leverage over Allen Weisselberg again. The judge Judge Mershon wants Allen Weisselberg to testify, or at least determine if he's going to testify or plead the fifth with regards to the New York criminal trial involving election interference in the 2016 election, involving payments to Stormy Daniels and then misrepresenting those as payments to Michael Cohen rather than campaign finance. Oh, Weisselberg's so screwed. Like Trump, he's going to be spending the rest of his life fighting court charges. Conspiracy, dark money, hiding things in the dark here. Crossed by the Knight of Wands. It was a plan. It was a slow, consistent plan. Again, $16 million a year, and on something that they had already said was worthless. I don't know how you go about doing this. And here's the worthlessness. Like, oh, this building's worth nothing. We can write off the taxes. But they just kept doing it. I guess what it is the IRS just doesn't have enough it doesn't have enough agents, it doesn't have enough resources to enforce the law. So it's actually fairly easy, if you're trying to be sneaky and underhanded, to get away with it. It really, with the IRS, they will catch up with you in the end. It's just how long. How long will it be before they catch up with you? And, again, think about the Republicans wanting to cut funding to the IRS. Makes you wonder why. It's not me and you they're going after. And yeah, we pay taxes, but we don't deduct $650, $700 million for a property. That's hundreds of millions of dollars there. But then another $168 million over a 10-year period. Man, we'd be lucky if we made $16.8 million in our lifetime, much less deducted on a yearly basis. The IRS just isn't funded enough to go after these crooks. In the past, it was the Knight of Swords. Yeah, they came up with a plan, and when the economy crashed, Trump got a big tax write-off, which probably helped his financial situation, because when you write off almost $700 million, that's a few $100 million in net savings in real money that you're saving there. So they came up with a plan. They quickly put it into action. And up until recently, it's all worked for them, Not only did they deduct the original $650 million or so, but then over the next 10 years, they got another $16.8 million. Happy days. Everybody dance around. It's raining money on us. That's another $1 million, $2 million that they're not paying in taxes. Cash money in the pocket type of thing. Everything was going fine until those meddling kids. Where's Scooby-Doo when you need them? Current overarching energy is the magician. It's an illusion. They absolutely just created this illusion about this property being worthless. The tornado came in and swept it away type of thing. Oh, ignore that building that's standing there. And here's the problem. You declared the building worthless. What happens now when the shops start filling up and the condominium sales start going up? What do you do then? How do you reconcile this? This is why they're in trouble, because they can't reconcile everything that they're doing. The lesson to be learned is the Page of Pentacles. It's such small potatoes. Trump's a potato. Again, writing off $650 million, it's a lot of money. Even writing off $16 million is a lot of money. But for somebody who's purported to be a billionaire, committing this kind of fraud to save, $1 million or $2 million a year. Now, $1 million, don't get me wrong, $1 million is a lot of money. But if you're supposed to be a billionaire multiple times over, $1 million, yeah, that's a lot of money. But is it worth going to prison for? No, not really. No, Donald Trump in his book talked about, counting pennies and being a penny pincher or something like that. This is bigger than being a penny pincher, but it's kind of the billionaire equivalent of being a penny pincher. And, again, it's flat out fraud. And that's what they're like. But, it's $1 million. How, $1 million, how about $1 million and you don't go to prison and the IRS doesn't audit you and find this out and then charge you a bunch of extra fees and stuff like that. It's just, he'll commit fraud with large amounts of money, like the $658 million, and then he'll commit fraud with smaller amounts of money, like $16 million. Everything's relative, just saying. Anything for a buck. Pretty much, Trump and Weisselberg have shown they will break any law, commit any crime if it means they can make money, because they're money motivated. The outcome is the Queen of Cups. I think the IRS has them dead to rights. Of course, Trump's going to appeal. He's going to try and quash things. But, you're talking the IRS here. This is not some, mom and pop shop that you used as a subcontractor to do some wiring on your building or to restucco walls and then you decide you don't want to pay them. This is the frickin' IRS and they don't fool around. Federal prisons are attached to the IRS. And the IRS is not exactly the most forgiving institute. They are actually rather forgiving because they will cut deals and take less money. But I don't know if Trump's the type of person they would cut a deal with and take less money from, because he seems to break the law every time he gets out of bed in the morning. Okay. Allen Weisselberg, what's his exposure to this? You just know that he's tied. I mean, how can he not be tied into this? Oh, and Michael Cohen would probably have information on this too. So, if he's not going to be enough of a thorn in Trump's side with his getting called to the stand Monday and through the whole week, he's going to be on this one too. Michael Cohen's just going to get all sorts of entertainment to go after Trump. Now, again, this case is going to be off for a while, as we've seen court cases take a long time. Trump may not even be alive by the time this IRS audit and court battle comes to conclusion. Not wishing death on anybody. I'm just being realistic. It might be a few years. Trump may not be here in a few years, and if he is, he may not be mentally competent. Okay, just throwing that out there. But Allen Weisselberg will probably be around. And I guess he'll be a surrogate whipping boy for and a poster child for warnings of what happens when you entertain folks like Donald Trump for corrupt purposes and then benefit from them yourself. Okay? What about Weisselberg here? 8 of Wands, messaging, things happening quickly. Weisselberg may have been aware of it, but I think the information is going to get to him really quickly here. Oh, yeah, he's screwed. He's screwed 6 ways to Sunday. This is just another fine mess you've gotten me into. You fly. If what's it about flying with pigeons? If you're an eagle, you don't fly with pigeons or something like that. It's just, he did it to himself. This is just going to be another thing that takes Weisselberg down. It's going to cost Trump Org a lot of money, but it could cost Weisselberg a lot of money too. Because guess what? If there is any kind of fraud, purposeful fraud that's going on, there could be legal implications or fines or something along those lines. He's not out of the woods. His best job is to flip and just basically say he was ordered to do it by the boss. And here's the thing, right? If Trump is not mentally competent, if Trump is no longer with us and he's at Susan Lynn's franchise, great McDonald's in the sky, trademark, they're going to blame Trump for everything, right? I was under orders from Trump. Trump will be able there to defend himself. I don't know how those court cases are going to look, but it's entirely believable. But, Just because your boss told you to do it doesn't mean you had to. So there's going to be some personal responsibility there. In the past, the Three of Cups. Hey, when it's working, it's great. Everybody raise your cups. You know, we've screwed the government out of another $1 million. Hooray, hold your cup up. It's raining profits for us. And now, current situation, as he sits in jail for a few months, here comes another court case that he's going to be implicated and involved with. Overarching energy, yeah, again, a pair of fours here. As he's getting this information, and maybe he'll be asked to testify for the government. Do you want to spend more time in prison? More time in jail? And maybe this next one, you're going to get a longer sentence because you've shown time and time again that you are a corrupt individual. Mind you, this did not happen after the original sentencing for the civil trials. This is kind of a congruent thing, but still, it shows a pattern of behavior. You keep doing the same darn thing. When are you going to smarten up? Here's your Chicago Tower. This Chicago Tower is supposed to be worthless. You said it was worthless. Yet here you are trying to take more money out of a worthless project. Yeah, this is really another great undoing, another great dismantling of the Trump mythology and those who supported Trump and Trump Tower in the Trump org. Outcome is the Queen of Wands. He better get a good lawyer. He's going to need a good lawyer, if nothing else, to negotiate a plea deal or something like that. Again, there's no indication. I'm making assumptions here, right? There's no indication there's criminal charges here. None. But the IRS is going to is going to demand payment, and Trump and his organization are going to fight it. That's just the way it works. So if you're going to go to court, it means you're going to pull witnesses. The prosecution's going to pull witnesses. The defense is going to pull witnesses. Allen Weisselberg needs to decide which team he's going to play for. If you play for the prosecution's team, they can work with you and maybe shield you from any criminal liability that you might be facing because of these actions. If you choose to be a witness for the defense and not cooperate with the prosecution, you are opening yourself up to the potential to be pursued as a target for fraud and corruption and a conspiracy. So, anybody that throws comments is, no, it's a civil case. It's the IRS going, yeah, but play the tape all the way through. There's more implications that go with that. For a company that's already been convicted of felonies, and for yourself who has served 2 terms in a jail or prison for your crimes in that conspiracy by the main company, as well as committing perjury. And you're in your mid-70s. You should just be enjoying life with your kids, your grandkids, and if you got, God bless your great-grandkids. That's what you should be doing. You've led a corrupt life. Let's face it. He's led a corrupt life. You can try and do some damage control so that you can carry on. Otherwise, the government just might start looking really closely at your children and their antics. Who was the manager of the ice rink, and how did he get that job, and what shenanigans are going on with that, especially when your daughter-in-law is giving boxes of information to the government after a divorce. Just stuff to consider. I guess stuff for the rest of us that we don't have to worry about. Anyways, we'll leave it here. My brother and I have started a new channel called Twin Tarot. I have a link. I'll have a link in the description. I'll have a little thing down over here. If you want to click on it, it'll take you straight to the channel. I also have links in my community page. So if you've been enjoying Gary and my's videos where we're sitting next to each other, just having a good old time laughing at political situations, come check out the new channel. We'd love a subscription from you. We'd love comments and watching the videos. It gives me an excuse, not that I need one, but it gives me an excuse to go hang out with my brother and do something fun and creative with him and see where it takes us. All right? So you'll still get the content from this channel, but now you have even more fun and snark, and it's with twins. Anyways, thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so this video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently and for the first time, and there were many of you on Saturday with my Trump health reading, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Hey, I have to hit the stop button for it to stop. But at least it has sound this time.